And so will he in fact lift 1,000 pounds with HRT alone? Probably not.
So I actually want to take Greg Doucette's advice and slow things down. Stop being in such a rush. Why do I have to do it right now?
Coach Greg, and in today's video, Larry Wheels has stopped taking steroids. And it's not clickbait, he's literally quit the use of anabolic steroids, PEDs, growth hormone, all that kind of stuff, and he's decided to do things on HRT alone. He first started taking steroids at 17, 18 years of age and has abusing them ever since. In today's video, we're going to be going over what will it do to his lifting career, his muscle mass, how much is he going to lose, what will his HRT dose be, is it actually going to be an HRT dose, or is it going to be blasting 500 milligrams a week?
Much like you don't know, I don't know what I'm capable of off cycle. Going completely off isn't an option for me. I cannot produce testosterone naturally.
And so let's address that. Is it actually true that he can't stop everything? No, he actually could. He could do a PCT. He could come off everything. The problem is it would take a very long time for him to recover his natural production of testosterone. And in the meantime, for perhaps a year, maybe even 2 years, he would lose a significant amount of muscle, probably 50 pounds of muscle. He would no longer feel good, have no energy. It just wouldn't be worth it to him. And so the better option for him is to go on HRT. And that is prescribed by a doctor and is in fact legal.
I tried post-psychotherapy several times when I first began cycling, and I was unable to recover.
And so he says he's done this in the past. He's gone off steroids and did a PCT and was unable to recover. That's because he never did it long enough. Many people take steroids, they go off them, and they're thinking, well, it's been 2 months since I stopped. Why is it that I'm not producing test? Oftentimes, it can take 3 months, 6 months, even over a year to recover your natural production of testosterone. And so remember this, if you do ever plan on taking steroids, it can be a long and tedious journey on your road to recovery. It's not simply going to be 6-8 weeks and you're back to normal. It can in fact be many months, if not years.
TRT for me would be anywhere from as low as 70 milligrams a week. I've heard even lower dosages to as high as 175.
That is all you really need as part of your HRT. Anything more than that, that's really not HRT. That is a cycle, and I agree with him 100%. So many people say, no, it's 250, 300 milligrams a week. That's HRT. I need that. Maybe 1 in 1,000 need a dose higher than 175. But anyone taking those kind of doses, stop kidding yourself. You're just on a low dose cycle. It's okay. If your doctor says you can do it, it's okay. But be honest to the people. You're not on a hormone replacement therapy dose of test if you're taking 200 milligrams a week. Name a person in this world, this planet, this universe, whose body produces 200 milligrams of test a week. And so truth be told, 100 milligrams of test a week for many people, that is already more than their bodies make on his own. Larry Wheels, a very large man, approaching 300 pounds, well over 6 feet tall. I do believe that 175 milligrams a week, for him, that could be a dose that makes sense. And so what he's gonna do, he's gonna take 175 milligrams a week, get his blood work done, and see if his testosterone levels were within the normal range. And if they're higher, he can then lower it.
If I speak with my doctor and we get my bloods done and we see that it's more than what's necessary, then I'll decrease it. But I certainly won't increase it anytime in the near future.
Depending on your genetics and how you use testosterone, that can have a great impact on how much testosterone you actually need. And so Larry's not just going to guess, he's actually getting doctors to monitor him. And so you have to applaud his honesty, his openness, his willingness to share what he's doing. And I do believe this video is going to make a huge difference on many people's lives. I think he genuinely wants to see what his body can do on HRT alone, and he sees it as a new challenge for him. And frankly, based on this video, I do believe that Larry has one regret. That if he could reverse time travel, go back into the past, then he would do this 100% natural. Think of it. He was 17, 18 years of age, decided to go on PEDs. He has amazing genetics, and imagine what he could have accomplished with absolutely no PEDs whatsoever. The guy's a gifted athlete. I'm sure he would have accomplished more than we could ever imagine. And perhaps in his later years, late 20s, 30s, and so on, once he's tapped out his natural genetic limit, he could then have added PEDs into his repertoire.
So I actually want to take Greg Doucette's advice and slow things down. Stop being in such a rush. Why do I have to do it right now?
And so Larry, he's getting smarter in his older age. He's taking in the information that people are presenting and he's applying it on himself. Why did I rush back so quick? Why did I need to deadlift 1,000 pounds right now? I have so many years ahead of me. There's no reason to push the pace and take risks to try to lift those incredible weights. And so will he in fact lift 1,000 pounds with HRT alone? Probably not. Let's be honest. PEDs do in fact work and they do help you recover more, put on more muscle, and lift heavier weights. And without those PEDs going back down to HRT, although he's not 100% natural, it's going to be very difficult to be able to lift 1,000 pounds. And so my advice to Larry would be to reset his goals. Simply train on HRT, allow yourself to recover, take some time off of lifting really heavy weights. Think of it, you no longer have that special sauce coursing through your veins. It's going to be a lot harder to lift those incredible heavy weights. But it doesn't mean he still can't be amazing. You have to take in mind he's doing this with HRT alone. He's not going to lift as much as he used to, but if he resets himself, forget what you used to lift. What do you lift now on HRT alone? Set new goals and expectations and let's just see, what can Larry Wheels do on HRT alone? And hopefully he will provide his blood work and show people, hey, this is how much testosterone I actually have in my body. I'm not bullshitting you, and prove to the fans. They want to see what can someone do with just HRT. And trust me, it's still going to be mind-blowing.
I'm 27. I can take my time. It can be several years from now. I'll still be in my prime. I'll still be healthy. As long as my heart's beating, I can have a crack at it whenever I want.
And listen, just because he goes on HRT for now, doesn't mean he has to do that forever. Perhaps 5 years from now, he's in his 30s and says, hey, I feel like doing that 1,000-pound deadlift. I've been training on HRT alone for years, looking great, feeling incredible, my health's in order, and I feel like going for that goal. He at that point could add in PEDs. Receptor's going to be like, wow, what is this stuff? We haven't seen this stuff for years. Respond very well, and his lift will go through the roof in a matter of months.
But what I don't know is, how will I perform without all of that assistance? Because fact of the matter is, PEDs make a tremendous difference.
And for Larry, it's actually an exciting adventure. He can't wait for this. He's been on PEDs for 10 years, setting records, doing it, and after a while, it kind of gets boring. I know it's hard to understand, but when you're at Larry's level, achieving this kind of greatness for so long, it kind of gets boring. It's like, yeah, you're gonna lift 1,000 pounds. You kind of expect it. Oh, I'm gonna lift this, do that, set this record, and it's like, yeah, we get it, you can do it. And so Larry, after doing this for 10 years, is bored of it. He wants a new challenge. I want to see what I can do without the special help of PEDs.
I mean, I remember losing 30, 40 pounds coming off cycle within a few weeks.
And so Larry says in the past he's lost 30 or 40 pounds in a matter of weeks coming off cycle. To me, that is a sign of someone that is cycling incorrectly. You should not lose 30, 40 pounds in weeks of coming off cycle. Think of it, 30 or 40 pounds. I didn't even put on 30 or 40 pounds from steroids in total. And so if you're gonna lose 30 or 40 pounds, is it actually worth it? For the most part, if you take steroids and you go off them, expect to lose about 50% of the gains in the time when you're off. And so if you're losing 30 to 40 pounds of gains in the weeks coming off cycle, then unless you put on 60 to 80 pounds in that cycle, which is virtually impossible, then you're doing something wrong. Perhaps his PCT wasn't in order, not eating, training properly, not doing what you need to do to keep all your gains. We'll never know. Larry has, for the most part, relied on his incredible genetics and work ethic to push him through all these barriers. Never had to rely on smart, intelligent training, more so just a guy who relied on incredible work ethic and genetics, and we've seen the results of video after video, year after year.
I remember going from like a 550 bench to like a 4-5 for 1 rep bench. We're talking 20 to 30% of a drop in strength.
Also a 20 to 30% drop in strength in a matter of weeks from going off cycle. That is a lot. Perhaps he's using very water-retentive steroids, Anadrol, for example, and it's simply water weight that he's losing. As when I used steroids in the past, I always cycled on and off. I would do a cycle, for example, 12 to 16 weeks, and then cycle off 12 to 16 weeks, back and forth, and I never lost that much strength. Always lost strength and size, yes, of course, absolutely, but not to the extent as described here by Larry Wheels himself.
I think it'll be interesting for me to embark on a journey that no one has seen before. I haven't seen it for myself. It will bring out a different side of me.
And Larry says this has never been done before. Well, frankly, I've lived this experience. I know exactly what it's like to go through what Larry's attempting to do. I was blasting steroids, setting world records in powerlifting, and I switched to HRT. And so I've done it. And so Larry, if you're watching this, feel free to reach out, ask me any questions. I'll try to help you to the best of my ability. I know we haven't seen eye to eye in the past, but I've been watching his videos as of late, and all I see is positive messages, trying to help people, promoting health and fitness, being open and honest, and one of the best YouTubers out there. And so Larry, if you do need help, have questions, you're having hard times, not know what to do as far as going on HRT, please feel free to reach out. I will help you to the best of my ability.
I've had a lot of success on PEDs against others who are also on PEDs. So I can't attribute all my success to PEDs, but I know that they have made a significant impact on my physique and my achievements and feats of strength.
And if you are ever tempted to take PEDs, I highly advise you to wait. Optimize your diet, your training, everything. Do it natural first. Get the most out of your natural training. Once you get to your natural genetic limit, as you get older, if you then decide, hey, I still want it bad enough, I still want to push the boundaries, push the envelope, only at that time should you in fact try taking PEDs. It is much harder for Larry Wheels as he started as a teenager. Teenagers, they're not ready to make these big decisions. Ask Larry himself, ask him, say, do you think a teenager should start taking PEDs? You're only a teenager. What would you know? Think of the mistakes that we've all made when we were younger and growing up. If we could go back in time, would we do all the same things we did? Of course not. And so it's going to be much more difficult for Larry to go from lifting with the assistance of PEDs, going back down to HRT and seeing what it's like.
And see what I'm capable of. What can I squat? What can I bench? What can I deadlift? What can I overhead press? Bicep curl? How can I arm wrestle?
And I also would suggest to Larry, get in 150 minutes of cardio a week, moderately intense cardio. That will do wonders for your heart. And if you ever do decide to take PEDs again in the future, you'll have a healthier baseline. The healthier you are, the more likely you are to survive into your old age. And just think of it, taking PEDs, it's not healthy. Not one person going to sit here and say that taking performance-enhancing drugs is healthy in the slightest. And so if you are going to take them, ensure that everything else you do in life is done with being as healthy as possible in mind. That includes cardio, diet, sleep, everything.
I'm sure there'll be a time again in the future when I want to go for that 1,000 pound deadlift. Again, that's a lifetime goal of mine, lifetime achievement. I'm not giving up on that. But right now, put the brakes on, take my time.
And so will Larry Wheels ever take PEDs again and deadlift 1,000 pounds? We don't know. People's goals change tremendously as they get older.
As usual, you'll be getting the same content, if not more. And I'm going to be as transparent as I can be about this journey.
And so I hope you continue to follow Larry. If you've never heard of him, you're living under a rock, perhaps go and follow this guy. I hope you're as excited as I am to see what Larry can do with HRT alone. Looking for subs, get harder than last time supplements? Click the link in the description. Creatine, protein powder, pre-workouts, Acti Builder, GO2 Max, G Focus, Delta Sleep. I could go on forever. There's so many supplements. You gotta click the link in the description. Also, you know, of course you've heard of it, the freaking cookbook. You got to get that. Also, the training book, the Circle diet book, coaching plans by me and my team. Check out gregdoucette.com for coaching. Also, HELTsubs.com. So many websites. Greg Doucette IB Pro on Instagram. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algo. Watch the bloops, and until next time, I'm out.